Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Charles here. Oh my god, this is the third time I've made this video because I always make it way too long. When I first started, I had a big heaping thing of macaroni and cheese, and now it's gone. It's late. I'm still here in Novi Sad. I usually go. My apartment's in Zemun. I usually go home on the weekends, but I got a presentation at Beograd tomorrow, and I gotta finish my PowerPoint presentation, so I'm staying up late here. I'm drinking water too, you know. Today, quickly, I wanted to make a video because I want to touch on some things. I want to confront some Albanians here that are watching my videos, and some of them aren't treating me very nice, you know. And why? Zašto? What am I doing to you that makes you hate me so much? You know, I have nothing against you. Let's get serious here, though. Here's the reason I made this video today, because the unions of European football associations, the UEFA, made their ruling about the massive mess of what was supposed to be a football match, soccer match, sorry, football, you call it football, we call it soccer. The big melee, the 40-minute bunch of bullshit that wasn't even a game. They ruled in favor of Serbia. They gave Serbia 3 points in the victory, but then, afterwards, they deducted the 3 points, they penalized Serbia over 100,000 euros, and they said the next two matches that Serbia plays, Denmark and Armenia, no fans are allowed in the stadium. Albania, they were fined 100,000 euros and that's it, and they got the loss. The reason they ruled in favor of Serbia is they said that the Albanians, when they walked off the field, or ran off the field actually, that was uncalled, or it was that was not right, more or less, okay? So I know Albanians are very, very angry. I've read some comments on some different things about how angry they are. And you know what? I'm not a Serbian. I have no Serbian blood. I'm not blinded by Serbians, okay? And I get sick of you saying that shit. You act like I only know one side of things here. I'm from the United States of America. We came here, we're the last country to bomb these people. So everything I've heard has been the Albanian side. I'm 37 years old, okay? In 1999, I was in my 20s, and I remember everything that we heard about what was happening to the Albanian people. Okay, so don't tell me that I only know one side, because it's bullshit. I came here to Serbia not hearing 1 ounce of positive things about Serbia, nothing about anything that they've ever suffered from until I get here, okay? So don't tell me I only know one side of things, because that's false. And I don't always agree with Serbians on everything. That's a bunch of shit. You know, there's many things that I disagree with Serbians on, and many, many things Serbians disagree with me on, I'm sure. I'm a liberal, and they're very conservative, more or less, here in this part of the country. But that makes no difference. The biggest problem with the world is everybody thinks that you always have to be in agreement with your friends, or you always have to say yes to someone. You don't, you know. I've got some of my best friends are Serbian radical nationalists that are just have some of the most ridiculous thoughts and beliefs, and I don't agree with them, but I'm still friends with them. That's fine, that's them. But anyway, you Albanians that are sending me these horrible messages, you act like you had nothing to, you were not to blame in any way. And I, being an outsider here that watched the whole entire match, I knew, everybody knew, the whole world was looking here because they knew something was going to happen. Albania hadn't played here since 1967 in Belgrade. And the whole world was on pins and needles waiting for something to happen. And I think this was all orchestrated in advance by Albania just to make Serbia look bad. And this is coming from a guy that has no connection here to Serbia. Okay, I think it was the case. We all know football fans, soccer fans, are already ready to fight. They're angry people. They're adrenaline-packed. And then, all of a sudden, in all this tension, in flies this little drone with a big banner of Greater Albania that shows what your dream of taking most of Macedonia, taking Kosovo, taking all up into Raska, Serbia, and over by Bujanovac, parts of Greece. I mean, what did you expect? You know, what would happen in Tirana if a Serbian drone came in there with Kosovo je Srbiju? something like that, the same thing's going to happen. Things were going okay until that banner came in there, and then a lot of you are bitching about the guy that ripped it down. The Serbian player that ripped it down was probably just trying to get the goddamn thing out of there so he could get on with the fucking match, you know. He didn't do it disrespectfully. Grab the thing, you know. Oh my God. Take some accountability, you know. Don't always play the victim, you know. And I mean it in the biggest, I say that with the most respect I could possibly say, you know. You were to blame for that melee, in my opinion, okay? That's the way it is. What would happen in Albania? Think for a second. Without being hateful, just think. A Kosovo y Serbia thing gets close to some of the Albanian players. What's he going to do? He's going to grab the goddamn thing, okay? It wasn't an Albanian flag. No, okay? So there. And the international media, some of them were decent. Some of them said okay things, but then some of them just said it was an Albanian flag that a Serbian grabbed. It was not an Albanian flag, okay? And so many people had yelled because I claimed that it was the Prime Minister of Albania's brother, which is what I'd heard in many, many media outlets. I don't know if it's true, but anyway, I think it was all orchestrated, and I think Albania was to blame. Some Albanians were writing to me. They're really nice people. I enjoy it. My friend in Canada who's watching this, he probably disagrees with me on everything, but that's okay. You know, that's my opinion and as an outsider, and I stand by it. Okay. But that's the way it is. And Serbia is set to play Albania again next year, and I hate to see what's going to happen. And I know the whole world's going to be watching, you know. So many things, you know, you can't always play the victim, you know. Some dirty, disgusting things were done that I'd never heard of that the Albanians did until I came to Serbia. All these churches that were destroyed in Kosovo, 100 churches. One of the things that I'll never forget, I'm not even a hardcore Christian, I'm not religious at all, but my family's all Christian. The United States is mostly Christians, Methodist, Baptist, Lutheran, Catholic, whatever. A big group of Albanians sitting in front of a church, cheering while this guy jumps on the church, ripping a cross off, throwing a cross down, and people are cheering for it. That's scary for Americans. You know, and if you believe that the United States of America came here because they cared about Albanians in a military intervention because they cared for somebody, you're wrong. You need to slap yourself and wake up, because that doesn't happen. You know, those days of military interventions for the good of humanity are over, my friends. I hate to say it, I love the United States, but that's the way it is. Rwanda, they had big issues, Hutus and the Tutsis a while back, hacking each other to death. One of them came up to an American senator. He wanted the U.S. to get involved, and one of the U.S. senators said, hey, the United States doesn't have friends, we have interests. And I'm not picking on the United States, that's the case with all superpowers, you know. It's interest, baby, it's not Albania, you know. So you have statues of Clinton, you have statues of American flags all over the place. You're naming your kids George and Bill. You know, they really don't care about you, you know. No offense, but we don't really have any friends, you know. Depressing, huh? I've been called un-American on here by an idiot here, an American. He claims he's an American. He doesn't even know how to spell soul. He said, may God help my black soul, and he spelled it S-O-L-E, which is the bottom of your fucking shoe. So Tony, you piece of shit. I am very pro-America, pro-American people, I should say. But the government I have no loyalty to. Thomas Jefferson said dissent is the highest form of patriotism. Okay, Ron Paul, you act like I should support anything my government says in any military intervention. Bullshit. Ron Paul disagreed totally with Kosovo. Dennis Kucinich disagreed totally with our involvement in Kosovo and Afghanistan and Iraq. And they're un-American? Come on, get lost, you piece of shit. Okay? I just got the U.S. Embassy's been sending Americans. 2 days ago, we've been getting warnings. It's a worldwide warning for Americans. It said Americans, even in Eastern Europe, are to be on high alert due to ISIS and these Islamic extremists targeting us for kidnappings and such. And I know a lot of those folks down that have been in Syria and ISIS have came from the Kosovo area. A lot of them have. And so it does kind of concern me a little bit. So I'm glad the U.S. Embassy actually sent that one out. I'm friends with a number of Americans here that are also concerned with that. I have nothing against Islam at all. My best friend in the world, all my really, really close, good friends are Muslim. And Serbian Orthodox. My best friends, some of them are Serbian too, but most of them are Muslim. And I love them to death, and I know ISIS has nothing to do with Islam. I think it's something that was created to take our minds off of things. But still, it scares me that some of these nutcases are this close, and the borders of Serbia are easy to breach. So you never know. Somebody watching this might be a member, and I might be decapitated on live TV. Anyway, that's it, my friends. I think Albania is actually to blame, my Albanian friends. So no disrespect. Don't send me a bunch of hate, please, because it's just my opinion. Okay, and I did, and to you Albanians, you were very correct on something, and I want to apologize real quick. Okay, so let me say that again. Albania, I would like to apologize because in my last video I did state something incorrect when I was talking about Tito and the autonomous region of Kosovo. I said in the video I was wrong. I said whenever Tito created the autonomous region of Kosovo, then Albanians started coming there. That was false, and I didn't intend to say it. My videos aren't scripted, it's just random blah that comes out of my mouth and shit that comes out of my mouth. And I did say that. I know Albanians have been there for many, many years, but I'm just saying that after he created the autonomous region, many, many more Albanians came into there, and Albanians had many, many kids, and so it really populated the area. That was my point. Anyway, my friends, I've met a wonderful guy. I told you earlier, an Albanian he's from a little town north of Tirana, but now he's in Canada. And a good guy, you know, he's respectful. We can discuss things. We speak on Skype. We're going to make a video together. I'm going to try to get a Serbian, him and me, and to do some sort of video together because that's the way to do it. You got to talk to people you think are your enemy because that's the only way to get over it. You know, you can't always just be friends with everybody that agrees with you. It's stupid. You know, you got to listen to the other side. And that was my biggest complaint with George W. Bush administration, because at the United Nations, whenever Fidel Castro, when he was in good health, Hugo Chavez, Morales is my favorite political leader in the whole planet, is Morales from Bolivia. Wonderful guy. When those people get up and speak, the United States whole delegation leaves. We won't even listen to them. That's an insult. That's a slap in the face. They should be forced to listen to everybody. You can't ignore your enemies, my friends. That's it. Thank you. Albania, I wish I could say a few words in your language. Salam alaikum if you're a Muslim, and I don't hate you. I have nothing but respect for you and your people, but I just have a totally different view on the football match. Okay, Serbians, pozdrav, later.